Robert Lindeman's very concerned. He hasn't seen the new truck yet.
Okay. Can you hear me? I think we're ready to go.
10 seconds.
You got that little,
At the bottom there? We're
little
good.
meeting starting shortly.
Oh,
We're
there you go.
Okay, welcome. Good night, good night.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Pacercia is excused tonight, so I'm presiding for him. Megan, could you read the statement of presiding?
Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting, specifically the time, date, and public call and information were included in the meeting that was electronically sent to the Echo Sentinel and Morris Daily Record and posted on the township website. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.longhillnj.gov. A public comment period will be held in the order it is listed on the meeting agenda.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Megan, can you please take the roll?
Committeeman Dorsey?
Here.
Committeeman Ray is absent tonight. Committeeman Verleza?
Present.
Deputy Mayor Lavender?
Here.
And Mayor Pacercia is absent tonight.
Okay, thank you. First let's start off with some presentations. First, I'd like to say, we had hoped to have Tim Stiles and Elizabeth Jewett here to talk about the Watchung Hills Regional High School budget. Unfortunately, due to an illness, we're going to have to push that off from this meeting, I guess, to the next meeting, but we'll see how that pans out. But at this time, Kyle Midthassel from New Jersey American Water is going to come up and give us an update. Kyle was here a few months back, and we've asked him to come in periodically to just give us update on the work that's going on in town. Kyle, the floor is yours. Please speak into the microphone. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to providing some additional updates on some of the projects I spoke about, as well as some new ones. The first one is our operations building. That building has been under renovation for quite some time. We had our final inspections actually just in the last few weeks, and our furniture is being delivered in April. So we're looking forward to moving into that facility in April. We're currently operating out of trailers there and temporary facilities. So that'll be a big step forward, and that includes a brand new laboratory. So that's installed, functional, and the team's really looking forward to getting in there and taking our compliance.
What's the purpose of that laboratory? Water testing?
Yes, it's compliance testing for our wastewater treatment process.
Excellent,
to make sure
thank
we're
you.
compliant. Adjacent to that is the new Vector truck storage building. So that building's, again, been under construction for quite some time. Very happy and pleased at the progress that we've made. Again, with that project, we are looking to also receive furniture delivery in April and move in. Those inspections, final inspections for the C of O, are scheduled for the coming weeks. So that's an excellent step, and we'll eventually close that project out. Punch list items are ongoing, but we expect them to be done shortly as well. And again, looking forward to moving in there. The next project that is ongoing is the pump stations, specifically Clover Hill and Morristown Road. They're progressing. We had a little bit of a delay due to some procurement challenges, some things that just took a long lead items to get. But we have received them. They've been installed. They were primarily controls related, PLCs. They're installed, and we will be commissioning them, and we're looking to put the new pumps and the new system online in April. From there, again, there'll be some closeout items, but it'll be great to get those systems off of a bypass situation and onto the permanent new pumping system. So that'll be a big step forward for both of those stations. That will be in April. New generator, new controls, pumps, valves, the entire station. Cleaning and lining, I spoke about that. We had a 2023 project. That's now complete. It's done. We're moving on to 2024. We've identified many areas that we're going to look to do some cleaning and lining. So we go through, clean the pipe, and we actually install a liner within it to stop water from infiltrating into the pipe. We've seen great success so far, and we plan to continue that year in, year out. Every year we'll have a program. had a very positive and successful meeting with the NJDEP just earlier this week. Initially, there was some ambiguity about the permitting process and what we'd have to do there, but they were able to clarify that, and we came to an agreement on how to proceed. So we're now in the process of drafting up the permit applications. Those will be going in shortly, and we anticipate to do that work later this year. If there are any issues with the permits, just taking time, questions back and forth, we do have other areas identified as potential backup areas, because it's important that we continue that program every year. So we've developed that. We're looking forward to executing 24, and then we'll do the same 25 and beyond. A project that is just starting up that's been planned for quite some time is the upgrade of our filter system and filter treatment building. Design was done last year. We secured a contractor. Contracts were put in place, and we're actually looking to have that contractor mobilized in April. That's a pretty extensive project. It's a complete replacement of all the filters, a lot of the filter appurtenances, valves, piping, controls, building upgrades, as well as some repairs to our clarifier tanks themselves. That is going to start again in April. They're actually going to be on site, and that's going to be concluded substantially by the end of the year. We're hoping everything will be wrapped up by then, but we'll definitely have that new system online in the fall-winter timeframe. So again, that will help our treatment and help us remain compliant. We are also installing a SCADA system. So that's a supervisory control and data acquisition system. So they're common in a lot of industries. That'll give us the ability to monitor remotely, not only the plant, but some of the lift stations. We're going to bring them online as we can. We have to do some upgrades in order to do that, but that will continue as we move forward. Not only is it monitoring, it also includes alarming and some control as well. So all in the effort to make sure that we remain compliant, we stay ahead of issues before they become a problem and alert us to potential future problems, again, to improve the resiliency there. The clarifier walkway is a project that we completed the design last year. I think I gave that update at my last presentation here. That was done in the November-December timeframe. Since then, we've put it out to bid, we've selected a contractor, and we've executed those contract documents. So we will be moving forward with that. We're in the process of going through submittals. We haven't received a schedule from the contractor yet, but we will receive that soon. But that's something we'll definitely target to get done in the summer timeframe, barring any procurement challenges there. So looking forward to that one. Next is the sludge tank cover. Very similar. We finished up that design the end of last year. That went out to bid. We are actually waiting on the bids. They'll be back Friday of this week. We're going to get those bids. We'll review them, and then we plan to execute that contract sometime this year and get that project started. That will be started this year. It may spill into 2025, but that depends a little bit on the contractor schedule, procurement, and the rest of the project. PACL. So we added some additional PACL tanks. That's PACL. It's a coagulant that we use in the treatment process. And we had installed 2 tanks, and we identified that a third would really be beneficial because of the additional resiliency, having that reserve chemical storage. During storm events or unforeseen situations, it gives us a lot of extra ability to treat water, the wastewater flowing in. So that tank was actually delivered last year. We have since executed a contract to install that tank and make some additional upgrades to the system. So we're in the process of getting that scheduled and anticipate that to be done in the next few months as well. Outside of the building, because the PACL tank is a bulk storage tank, it's several hundred gallons, and there's 3 of them, so times 3, we actually have pretty large trailers come in to deliver that chemical. When they do that, there's an environmental risk. If there was to be a spill, a hose was to break, something was to happen, it potentially could leak. Not that it's a very harmful or dangerous chemical. It's part of our standard that any chemical delivery has containment. So we actually completed a design to develop a permanent containment area for that delivery. That design is 90%. We're doing the final reviews actually as we speak. Once that's done, we'll be implementing that project and putting that permanent containment there to prevent any sort of discharge to the environment. We also recently just placed the order to replace and add some additional smart manhole covers. So these are essentially, they replace an existing manhole cover that you see in the street. You drive over them all the time, sometimes a little bit of a bump in the road. But we are replacing those with smart covers, some of them strategically. They provide information on the water level within that manhole. So it's a very, very good way to get an early indication of a backup, or if you're having a surge within the system, it gives us, again, that warning. We can start to track and identify problem areas, number one. Number two, it gives us the ability to get out there and attack and address the issue before it impacts residents. So anything we can do to further that, we're working on. So those are on order. Again, they're probably a few months out. They're not really readily available. They're not extremely common. It's a more advanced technology, but a good one that we want to implement here. The last project that I want to give an update on is the expansion of the existing sanitary sewer system. So I had identified that we have two separate projects going and kind of categorized the expansion into different groups. So we have three groups. The first two, category 1 and 2, are within the existing New Jersey DEP sanitary sewer service area. That's part of the water quality management plan. We've received the draft report for that. We just got it. We're just starting to review it now and go back and forth with our engineer to review and address comments that we have. We do anticipate the third category, which is the areas outside of the existing permitted sanitary sewer area. Those are a bit more challenging because there's some more permitting involved. That's why it was a separate review and study by the engineer. We expect to get that in the coming weeks. That's following right behind the first report. So once we get that, again, we'll do the same type of review and comment there. Once we do that and get some additional information from the engineer, make sure we're happy with it, we're going to develop an internal working group, and we plan to start that group in May. That's going to be an effort to start getting our ducks in a row, to prioritize, schedule, and better understand which areas can be expanded to, when those expansions will take place, and how they'll take place. As part of that, with our group, we've invited some of the town committee as well as some others from the town to participate in that, just to help better coordinate and execute that work, in the best interest of the town and in a good partnership there. So we're looking to start those groups in May. Looking forward to those. They'll really start to get the ball rolling with that expansion. That does fall and dovetail into some of the other projects they already mentioned. They all need to be executed concurrently to allow that additional flow to come into the plant and be treated in a compliant way. So we are seeing some good progress there. We are on schedule with the report as we hoped. We got it this month for category 1 and 2. And again, we anticipate the additional report in the coming week or two.
Good. All right. So let me play back a little bit of what I heard, and then I'll ask Matt and Vic if they have any questions. So let's see. So there's facility upgrades that are in flight that you talked about. There is some activities that are going to improve the resiliency of the overall system, which would be monitoring both in the pump stations and in the manholes. That's something that we never had before in terms of monitoring if there's adverse situations that had to be addressed. The filtering thing is huge because that affects water quality, which is badly needed. So thank you for that. You're doing work to improve resistance against infiltration from stormwater, as well as the movement of the water with these pump station upgrades. On top of that, there's environmental controls that you're building into the facility to make sure that we have resiliency there in case of storms and anything like that to protect us environmentally. And then lastly, the expansion is proceeding on schedule. And we're going to have some group sessions in May to kind of figure out some of the path forward on that. So everything, this just sounds like, red, green, blue. This is green, all systems go, right? So this sounds, fantastic. Vic, Matt, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just have a couple. What's the purpose of the groups again?
The groups is to coordinate that expansion, so that's going to include running new sanitary sewer mains down streets. We don't
Oh,
want
so
to.
not the expansion at the plant, talk about the expansion.
No,
of the
this
system
is within the
itself.
system itself.
Okay.
So we want to coordinate with other scheduled upgrades throughout the town, paving, events, things like that, just to make it as
Right.
tolerable as
I
possible.
talked to Guy about that earlier. It's probably going to be, Guy, myself, Randy, Joe, Al.
It's not civilians, basically.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Well, when we get to the point where we have to engage, yeah, but, there's work we need to do ahead of time to make sure that we're not stepping on other projects that are going on in town, construction projects, right? Al, you'd be perfectly aware of that, right? Yeah.
That which dovetails on my next question about paving, because people have been asking about Northfield Road. That's the one by Millington School.
Okay.
Do you have any idea when that's going to get repaved? Are you done working on that?
That's not New Jersey American
Oh,
Water.
it's not?
Well, it was New Jersey American Water on the water side,
Okay.
not on the sanitary sewer side. But we are in design with Boswell Engineering for that to go out to bid.
All right.
I'll probably find out next week as to the status of where we're at with that.
And the other question I have, it's not for me, it's for people that ask. I see it, and I'm sure that Randy sees it more, is with the expansion itself, not of the system, of the plant itself, because there's a bunch of shovel-ready projects that they want to know when they can start. That's the question. I know you might not be able to answer right now, but is there a general idea?
Yeah, that's what we're working towards, and that's what these reports will help us understand. They've done system analysis, and they've done all the surveying work. I'm sure a lot of folks have seen them around town. We did all the survey to understand where we can reasonably expand to. Would that be a gravity main? Do we need pump stations? Do we need easements? Do we need?
No, I'm not talking about that expansion. I'm talking about the expansion at the plant for capacity purposes. Because there are projects, say, for example, there's one by Cilento. There might be a couple other on Long Valley Road or on Main Street in Sterling that want to get started, but they don't want to start building until they know they can hook up to the sewer system.
Yeah,
Sure.
When will the ban be lifted?
That's the question.
Yep.
That's
Sure.
the better question. Thank you.
Sure, no, very good question. Yeah, what we're working on now with the filters will impact that. I don't know if that will be necessarily the endpoint for when we can open up that type of expansion of flow coming in, because that's what
Okay.
we're talking about. I could take that back and work with the engineers to better understand
Yeah, that's
how
the
that
question.
impacts our
Perfect, because I know Jack gets
capacity.
that a lot, and Randy does, from the different
Oh, yeah.
developers or property owners, because they want to get moving on these projects, and we have a lot of eyesores in town that need to get cleaned up.
Sure.
And not your fault, but a lot of people in town don't understand that they can't do the project until they can hook up to the sewer system.
Sure.
So one falls in with each other, but thank you.
Yep.
I think there's an anticipated, deadline on that one, though. It had,
It's got to be done by 2025.
Right.
2025.
we're hoping to see maybe it done a little quicker.
Sure. I'll take it back. We'll see what we can do and, see where we are, see what these projects, how they'll impact it, and provide some additional updates there.
Awesome.
All right, Kyle, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Kyle.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
And, for those who are watching at home, or maybe you're watching this later on video, if you have any questions on this, please send an email to Randy Barr, administrator at longhillnj.gov. Is that right? Yes. And, we'll be happy to get an answer back to you that way. All right, thanks,
Very
Kyle.
good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Good
Thank
deal.
you.
All right, moving right along. That brings us to consent agenda resolution. So first off, would anybody like to pull a resolution to discuss or abstain from? Matt, Vic,
Nope.
you good? Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolutions 24-097 through 24-113?
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Dorsey?
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lavender?
Yes. Okay. Moving right along. Liaison reports. So let's see, Vic, let's start down with you.
All right. Are we ready? All right. The recreation report is as follows. We are busy getting this year's Dog Days of Summer Concert Series locked in and rocking. The Recreation Advisory Committee made their selection of 6 bands to this year's concert series. Our selections include a big band orchestra, a Motown band, a country music band, and much, much more. We welcome back Four Flight Rock to our National Night Out festivities, which will be held Tuesday, August 6th. Mark your calendars now. As soon as all of the other bands are locked in with dates, We will post the schedule on the website. We're also making plans for this year's Memorial Day Parade and observance to be held Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day morning. The Recreation Advisory Committee is always accepting new members. Looking to volunteer in the community? Come have some fun with us. Contact the Parks and Recreation Department for more information. And registration for summer camps and the Sterling Lake is scheduled to open on April 1st. No fooling. It's got to be my delivery.
You're right. Keep going.
Slide number 2. We're hopping into spring here in recreation. Download your free activity packet from the website or stop by Recreation and pick up a packet. While you're there, be sure to stop by Recreation and take a guess on how many jelly beans are in the jar. Winner will be announced at our annual spring egg hunt. Don't miss out on this sweet deal. I'm trying. All right, slides number 4, 5, and 6. I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Mark your calendars for our annual spring egg hunt. This Saturday, March 30th, Cantor Park, 10 a.m. sharp. Rain and snow date, March 30th. Egg hunt for children 8 and under, petting zoo and pony rides. Also, light refreshments. There's also an adult egg hunt sponsored by our Long Hill Chamber of Commerce. This is a free event. Bring your egg hunting baskets. And don't forget, a very special guest will be with long ears and a fluffy tail will be there to greet the kids. Please take advantage of this great photo opportunity. New this year, spring field hockey game schedule designed to keep our fall field hockey players in shape to continue in the fall. Hurry and register by 3/29 on Community Pass, and the fee is $40 per player. Don't miss this opportunity to take Red Cross classes before we pause our class schedules for the summer. Red Cross First Aid class will be held Thursday evening on 4/11, and Red Cross CPR/AED class will be held on Friday evening, May 10th. Register now on Community Pass. Class sizes are limited, and upon successful completion, participants will receive a certificate good for 2 years. The cost is $32 per participant. All right, moving right along to slide number 10. Spring yoga classes just announced beginning April 8th. Register on Community Pass. Classes are almost full, so don't delay. Looking for a summer job? We have lots of opportunities in the Recreation Department. Please check out all of the information on the website and apply online by April 1st. And last but not least, don't forget, Recreation opens on Community Pass on April 1st for Sterling Lake, Summer Rec Camp, and the Little Explorers Camp. And that concludes my recreation update. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I figured out what you need. You need background music for that.
I need something.
So next time, bring a repeating tune, like a loop, and play it. It's got to be like Jeopardy music. You good?
Done.
All right. Matt.
From the fire department, we got exciting news. I know you were there on Friday. The new truck.
I touched
the
it.
engine. The new engine was delivered. I know that they, according to Chief Gallo, they should be getting in service in the next month or so. So, Al, when's the rescue truck and the ladder coming when? The next month or so?
Ladder truck April 4th, I think Brendan said.
Oh.
Yep.
Rescue September.
All right, so good news. The ladder truck is being delivered hopefully next week to Millington Fire, which will be exciting. And the rescue truck that Sterling has on order should be here by September. So everything in service hopefully by November. And the fire department had 61 calls this year. We only, I don't think we're 90 days into the year already. So that's a pretty high rate of calls. So thank you all the men and women that are getting out there and answering these calls. And that's it from the fire department. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, and so I'll take it next. Shade Tree Commission, I was at the Shade Tree meeting on Monday. A couple things. The challenge grant is open now, so we'll be taking up to 20 applications to have the opportunity to buy trees. And these would be tupelos or service berries this year. I believe they're up to 2.5-inch diameter, $250 tree. It's a great deal. We have up to 20 of them. And you can go to our website, or I'm sorry, not the website. You go to our clerk, right?
The clerk's office has.
You go to the clerk's office to do your application, which are due, applications are due by April 15th. And when will we be announcing who has the right to buy those? Shortly after that?
It's first come, first served, so we take the first 20 applications. Anybody after that will be put on a wait list in case we have to do refunds of any sort.
Okay, got it. All right, so you'll know right then when you go in that you have it. And should they bring a check with them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so first come, first served, first 20 applications.
First 20 trees.
20 trees.
20 trees.
And how many trees can you purchase? Up to 2 each.
Correct.
Okay.
2 per household.
Thank you. And then the next thing, there's going to be some work going on. Shade Tree gets a budget every year. They're looking on planting some additional trees in Sterling. I think this year they'll be reaching out to residents on Passaic Avenue for trees to be planted in the right-of-way. So if you live on Passaic Avenue in Sterling, you may be hearing from some members of the Shade Tree Commission that they might be looking for your permission to put a tree in front of your property on the right-of-way at no cost to you. So keep a heads up on that. And that's what I have for recreation. Administrator's report. Recreation, did I say that? Shade Tree.
You were so gung-ho with the background music.
I did, I heard it in my head.
Okay, we'll start with the Public Works monthly report. Public Works over the last month has put out 20 tons of asphalt to be used to fix potholes and blacktop curbing. They removed 4 trees in-house, removed 11 trees by outside contractors. The first quarter street sweeping has been completed. They also did a couple sections of repair of the sidewalk on Meadowview Road. Flowers were planted on Main Avenue, all throughout where the planting bins were, are. Cantor Park, they did spring cleanup, flowers and mulch in the park, as well as Town Hall, where they trimmed all the bushes and so forth, and also in Cantor Park. Sterling Lake, they did spring cleanup, mulching, and preparation for the fishing derby. Year to date, they've done 375 basins, that's stormwater basins, cleaned out of 1,300 since January of this year. Mulch sales begin April 1st. Also, the Public Works is going to be opening on Saturdays from 10 to, no, it is 8 to 12, I'm sorry. 8 to 12 on April 6th for brush, branches, and recycling materials. That is on our website, so look at our website to see what kind of materials you can bring on what day. We also have the veteran banners. If people want to get a veteran banner put up, the application is on our website for another couple weeks. They can also call the administrator's office at extension 200. We have the mobile Department of Motor Vehicle, what is it called these days? Motor Vehicle Commission, MVC, coming on April 10th from 10 to 2 in the parking lot. This is something that the library has worked with Department of Motor Vehicle Commission. I think they had the department still. So it's going to be in our parking lot. You can just show up, but you can also make appointments when you go online, click on the Long Hill Township location. Services that they will be offering is getting a real ID, registration renewal, and duplicate title. One last thing, Deputy Mayor, and for the committee and for the public, we have been in discussions with Harding Township with regards to our shared services for police consulting. Over the next 2 months, we're going to be liquidating that shared services. We have the new public safety director on board, and in conjunction with discussions with him or mayor and yourself, the deputy mayor, and Harding Township, we decided that it was in the best interest of both towns to liquidate the shared service for the time being, not closing out any possibilities for shared services in the future, but just this shared service where we have the person in place to move it forward.
So in other words, we've got Mike Peoples in to help execute the plan that Mr. Falzarano created for us, and we're now going to terminate that contract. And I think that contract was, what, $48,000 a year?
Correct.
And so if we cancel that in May, we're saving more than half of the disbursements on that contract. Okay, fine, thank you. And when's that going to happen?
It's looking, with the 30-day clause, it's about mid-May.
Okay, thank you. So a little bit more than half, but just about half. All right, anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, do we have any discussion items? Any old or new business? I have one announcement. I don't know if folks remember this, but back in January, we requested nominations for a scholarship competition. This is the Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Competition, sponsored by the New Jersey League of Municipalities. And I'm happy to say that we have one nomination that we're sending on to the NJLM. Sophia Squizziato, congratulations. You have been selected by the Township Committee to compete for this scholarship, and all the best of luck for it to you. Megan, do we know when they're going to actually announce the winners of that?
It might say the timeline is on the,
Yeah, I can't see. I don't have my glasses tonight. But April 1st, I think.
April 1st is when we send it.
Yep.
Oh,
May 3rd, announcement of 3 winners and 15 statewide finalists and semifinalists, and the league will send any certifications to the mayors.
correct.
So, Sophia, if you're out there, congratulations. Hope you win. And, best of luck on your college career. Any other announcements?
Mayor, I have one announcement. I mentioned that the Public Works was out in the lake getting ready for the fishing derby, which will be held on April 20th. So for those that want to attend, that will be on April 20th. Is that Al, do you know what that's on the PBA website?
Yes.
Or it's on the PBA website?
PBA social media and their Instagram account. I think they have a Facebook page.
Okay, so anybody interested, go there and find out the information. Thank you.
Okay. If there are no other announcements, then at this point, I will open the meeting to the public. If any folks in the courtroom would like to make remarks or statements pertaining to any matter, please limit them to 3 minutes. The mic is yours. Anybody here? Come on up, state your name, address.
Al Gal, 273 Mercer Street. I just want to come up and thank the committee for the fire trucks. We're excited as a fire company. But the main reason I want to thank Randy Barr for his help through this process. I think between him and our salesman and myself, the process went smooth, but I just want to acknowledge Randy for his help on this process, going through purchase orders, change orders, and just want to thank him on behalf of the Sterling Fire Company.
No, thank you, and thanks for having us over there. It was fun to be a part of the celebration, if it were.
Thanks.
So, good job.
Thank you, Chief, and I apologize that I couldn't make it. I had unfortunately a doctor's appointment where Some things take priority.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So if there's no other comments in the courtroom, let's go online. Megan, anybody online with their hand raised?
Mary Ann would like to speak.
Sure. Hi. When you're online, please state your name and address.
Yes, hi, it's Marianne Noonan, 110 Lackawanna Boulevard in Gillette.
Hi, Marianne. How are you doing?
Good. How's everyone?
Good.
Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't get into the meeting. It was a bit late. This is just regarding resolution 21-268. I noticed there doesn't appear to be a quorum tonight with reference to voting on this. So I have a couple of questions. I sent Randy an email and CC'd all the township committee members. Just a couple of questions, and this is more in terms of current procedures. And I'll itemize my questions, okay? Number one, who is our current QPA? What is the current salary? What are the current procedures regarding a second authorization of payments, notwithstanding an emergency? And then the one thing I did note as well is that in that resolution, it stipulated the CFO and then the township administrator, but currently our CFO equals our township administrator. Just wondering if I'm missing something.
Randy, I think you collected some information. Do you want to answer, Marianne?
Sure. Marianne, I think you're confusing a couple different, mixing a couple different things. The resolution you're referring to, 21-268, that's a 2021 resolution where the committee named the mayor and then deputy mayor of determining what constitutes an emergency purchase. If you're referring to the resolution tonight, which there is a quorum here and they did vote on that resolution, that is taking the township committee out of that emergency determination and making it the chief finance officer. And if the chief finance officer is not available, the township administrator and the chief finance officer obviously would work with the township administrator and the QPA in determining any emergency processes. The current QPA is Nancy Malul. She was appointed under Resolution 21-291, and that was done in November 10 of 2021. She was named at that point for $5,000. Her current salary is $7,500, and she is still a QPA. The QPA is not a it's an employee position. She's a part-time employee with the township.
Okay, Randy, just one more question. In the resolution, this is where another bit of my confusion. I know I commingled two issues at once, but please bear with me if I'm wrong. You are our township administrator currently, as well as our CFO. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So when I read that resolution, it in name, if I look to that resolution, if there was an emergency, the default would be to you twice.
Well, it would fall to the chief finance officer. If I'm not available, it would fall to the administrator, and quite honestly, I would be it would be highly unlikely that I wasn't available during a emergency unless I was out of the country. At that point, the mayor would be notified, the clerk would be notified, and we could still be in contact. But that's how the resolution read. It doesn't mean that the chief finance officer and the administrator will always be the same person. Right. It's two distinct positions.
But currently it's you yourself, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And lastly, my comment in that email was with reference to, can we fund another township employee for this certification?
The QPA certification?
Mm-hmm.
We have a current employee for Long Hill Township with that certification. She is the
And that
QPA.
being,
She is the QPA.
I'm sorry, and that being,
Nancy Malul.
okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I have a background before your time when I started with the Big Eight. So, I'm a person in terms of following controls and procedures. So, this is what's leading into my questions because initially, seemingly, the QPA, they would, in terms of the township administrator, on a top level, not in emergency circumstances, there were no checks and balances with reference to someone else signing off. Is this still true?
I'm not sure what your question is. So you don't think that there's a check and balance between the QPA and myself?
It's not a question of you, Andy. It's okay. My question is, what is our current procedure? Is there a check and balance between the township administrator in terms of funds, et cetera? And is there a second review then by Nancy or not?
No. It's only emergency purchases, and that is delegated by this resolution to the CFO and then to the administrator and then the QPA in that order. But it's just the first person in line will make that determination. Of course, it's
Okay,
reviewed by the township committee after the fact.
I do understand it's for emergency services, but, and I'm going back, this was always a question of mine. And again, Randy, it's nothing against you, but what is our current procedure? Is there a second review?
Under emergency purchases?
Not emergency, just
For-
regular
For normal,
purchases.
everyday purchases?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, there
You know,
is.
if you
Because,
lost your minds and wanted to write a check out to yourself for 200,000,
right,
where's the control in place?
that's not going to happen because we do have controls in. There is a person here that's the assistant to the CFO. So the department would put in a requisition. The department head would review that requisition, give it an approval. Then it comes to me. I would do that approval. The assistant to the CFO, who will then take that approval and make a purchase order out of it. Once the purchase order comes in, the department head reviews all the paperwork attached to that purchase order, signs off that they received the purchase, the items or the services. It goes back to the CFO. It then gets approved by the assistant to the CFO and gets put on a bill list for the township committee to approve. On a monthly basis, the assistant CFO does not do the reconciliation of the check register. I do that because she's preparing the checks. So there are checks and balances due, as is reviewed every year by the auditors. In fact, they're actually scheduled to come in on April 15th to do the 2023 audit.
Okay. Randy, thank you very much.
No problem.
What you had just stated was never ever stipulated, in terms of controls and procedures.
Yep.
And you
Understand.
clarified it.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Anybody else out on Zoom, Megan?
Joe Ferrandino would like to speak.
Okay. Joe, please state your name and address for the audience.
Joe, please state your name and address for the audience.
Joe Ferrandino, 623 Chestnut Street.
Joe Ferrandino, 623 Chestnut Street.
Hey, Joe, hold on one second. We have a terrible echo.
Hey, Joe, hold on one second. We have a terrible echo.
Hey, Joe, you have to shut your TV off.
Hey, Joe, you have to shut your TV off. Okay, is that better?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, is that better?
No, it's not.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, is that better? No, it's not. No. Testing 1, 2, 3. No, it's not.
Is your TV off? Or do you have a couple of different microphones on?
Hello?
I think that's good. Yes. All right, you're solid. Go ahead. Please state your name and address again.
Joe Ferrandino, 623 Chestnut Street, Sterling. Question one was about the gentleman from American Water. If I recall correctly, before American Water purchased the water treatment facility, we had paid $1 million for the relining of the storm drains, and then the contractor came back for another $500,000 because he wasn't able to do the work. Is that correct?
We'd have to go research that. I mean, I don't know how to answer your question.
Not all the storm drains are lined.
That's right. We did some I&I work, but now NJW is finishing up the job.
Right.
Okay. Well, I was concerned because my peeve was that we gave the guy $1 million. He bid the contract for $1 million. Then he came back for another $500,000, and it was awarded to him. Meanwhile, he wasn't the lowest bidder. That was my concern back then. The other thing I'm concerned with now.
Hold on one
He had to be the
second.
lowest bidder.
What's that?
He had to be the lowest bidder.
Yeah, so he had to be the lowest bidder. So you saying he wasn't the lowest bidder?
Well, the reason why he wasn't was he bid $1 million, and then because he could not do the work for the $1 million that he bid, he came back for a supplemental, which was another $500,000. So the person that bid 1.2 was actually the lowest bidder. We paid him 1.5.
Joe, I remember what you were talking. This was a few years before the pandemic, right?
Man, everything is yesterday to me, more with my memory. I'm just looking at it because it seems like we're paying for the same thing over and over again.
We're not paying for this. New Jersey American's doing it. But I remember you came up to the microphone a few years back, and I remember you said the exact same thing. We gave the job to the lowest bidder, and then he kind of did a bait and switch and said he couldn't do it and asked for more money. So in theory, he wasn't the lowest bidder. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so
I don't remember where in town that was, but I understand what you're saying.
This leads to my new question. Okay, if Randy is the administrator, what is his annual salary as administrator? What is his annual salary as chief financial officer?
The annual salary that Long Hill Township pays me as administrator is $0. The annual salary that they pay me as CFO, I believe, is $1,050.
And we were paying Nancy Malou how much?
I don't recall.
I thought it was close to, I don't know, 84,000, 184,000, something like that. Her position as town administrator and qualified purchasing agent, somewhere around that fee, 184, 185.
No, I don't believe it was that high at all. But if you want, send me an email tomorrow, and I can get back to you with the correct numbers.
It was definitely under.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Randy. I'm a caveman. I don't do email, computer, or any of that stuff. Just memory, pieces of paper, and pencil. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Joe.
evening, gentlemen, and Megan. Bye-bye.
Anybody else online, Megan?
If anybody else on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Just a couple of comments. I think Town Hall is going to be closed this Friday for Good Friday. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
So to everybody in the public, have a blessed Easter weekend, and Good Friday. It's a time for peace, reflection, and goodwill and humility.
Mulch sale. Boy Scout mulch sale still going?
Oh, and also the Boy Scout mulch sale. So Boy Scouts are selling mulch. You'll see some announcements on social media for that. But everybody have a great weekend. Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would have had us here for another 15, 20 minutes.